more on our labels, especially because this has become such a big thing, which is kind of funny because we've been this since 1979. But I'm glad that things are catching up. It's really a top contact allergen. In patch test trays, you'll see a standard thing there for fragrance mix 1, fragrance mix 2. There's so many. And fragrance isn't just perfume. It's also natural fragrance. Inherently what's in a rose, for example, even if it's the most organic rose, you raised it yourself, there's no additional chemicals, it's still a fragrance, it's still a top contact allergen. And there are other things that are related to fragrance that people don't know about, like flavor. And I'm going to show you today how what a minefield this can be when you're trying to choose products without fragrance. So I saw an article, a really good one actually, that was really trying to be helpful and saying, this is a list of fragrance-free products. And they were saying unscented means it just doesn't have an additional scent, a perfume put in there. And fragrance-free is really what you're looking for. I think that's somewhat true. The thing is, it's still not very well regulated. With the new MOCRA changes in the US FDA regulations, I think it'll be better regulated because they're requiring people to disclose if they have fragrance. The thing is, not everything is obvious as a fragrance. So this is one of the products that they recommended as fragrance-free. And taking just a very quick look at it, lemon, citruses, this is actually a fragrance. This is as well, but they're not labeled as fragrance or perfume. So unless you would know that, you would be, at risk of an allergic reaction if your patch test showed that you were allergic to fragrance mix 1, fragrance mix 2, and then you picked this up and saw nothing that said perfume and thought that it was fragrance free. It's not. This is actually one of the most popular brands in the world that says fragrance free. Yeah, this is fragrance free, but those are fragrances. So it's just something to watch out for. Another fabulous one that looks really good, right? Because there are less ingredients overall, which is crucial for hypoallergenicity. And actually there's no fragrance there, but beeswax, ta-da! Beeswax is related. Propolis and things like that. So if you tested positive for fragrance, you want to be avoiding beeswax, propolis, and things like that. This is another thing recommended on that list from that article for fragrance-free things. And this is a very popular brand for fragrance-free options. But again, these are cross reactants, they're kind of related. There's fruit extract, it does have vanilla extract, and that's a big no-no. This is another item that was recommended in that article for fragrance-free, and yeah, right there, the citruses. A lot of the fruit and flower and sort of seed extracts are allergens or are related to fragrance. And this kind of threw me for a loop. This was a top recommendation in that article for fragrance-free, and it is kind of just packed with fragrance. It even says parfum right there, but also linalool, geraniol, all these limonene, all these citruses, and the beeswax, chamomile as well. Fragrance related. For some brands, they use fragrance not to make it smell good. It could be a masking fragrance, which is to mask the inherent smell of the raw materials that can smell like a lab. If you smell our products, they don't smell nice, they don't smell bad, but they don't smell nice. Masking fragrances will not make a lotion smell like flowers or fruits, but a masking fragrance will make it smell neutral. So you take a whiff of something, and if it smells not pretty, but neutral, pleasant, just like nothing, chances are it has a masking fragrance in there, because if you really, like us, don't use any type of fragrance, no masking fragrance, none of that, it's going to smell like a lab, because a lot of these raw materials really smell like a lab. Even if you have a natural extract of mango or something, it's not going to smell like a mango necessarily. That's going to smell like a lab. We don't use extract mango, it's a top contact allergen. But the other thing I did want to say here is sometimes brands will use fragrance not just as a masking fragrance, but also to help preserve the product, because they can help. A lot of fragrance type ingredients can help do that. But what's interesting is if you have a product like this, and I looked through it, and there wasn't actually a fragrance that I could see immediately, But so look, it's got all these other parabens to preserve the product, which, you know, you may or may not be allergic to depending on your patch test, which is why it's so important to get a patch test so you know exactly what you need to avoid. For us, it is 100% all types of fragrance free. So we won't use masking fragrances. We won't use botanicals that are listed as fragrances or cross reactants. And if we do, you're gonna see it in the VH rating. Remember this, the VH rating, right? If it has none of the top contact allergens, it's gonna show VH minus 109 of the top contact allergens, over 109, so all of them. And if it does have something, it's going to show a lower VH rating, so VH minus 108 over 109, and the allergen that is included, tocopherol acetate, which is vitamin E and really a wonderful antioxidant. If you're not allergic to it, you should use it. But yeah, at least we'll identify exactly what's in the product. So there, that's a little bit about the pitfalls of when you see something that says fragrance-free and you look at the ingredients and you might not see perfume or fragrance, you might actually see this fruit extract, which might be related. It might be part of the Compositae family, which is a fragrance, or a flavor, right? Like balsam of Peru. It's not going to be listed as perfume. It's going to be listed as balsam of Peru. Absolutely related to fragrance. It's a little bit rough trying to navigate through that. Another thing that tends to be not recognized as perfume are things like benzyl alcohol, cinnamic alcohol, and then that gets confused with alcohol being bad. Alcohol per se is not bad. It's just a categorization based on a molecular structure. Some alcohols are really freaking amazing and good for you and great for your skin, but that's a whole different bag of bananas. We can help there. If you submit your patch test results online on our websites, we can help customize recommendations for you based on your particular allergens and possible cross reactants. So there, good luck with fragrance-free and contact us and we can help.